Welcome guys to another episode of Boom Arena. Today we're gonna be playing some Dark Knight, and it's not gonna be a normal Dark Knight, and my opponent won't have a normal deck as well. So we're gonna be playing Dark Knight STEELBAIT, which is basically a fun version of a Dark Knight deck, which kinda forces your opponent to respond not only to a annoyance of a Dark Knight, but also to some cards as well. So we're gonna be having, like you have already seen, a Necromancer, which is usually flying bombed. We're gonna be using a helicopter, which is established that the best response to that is a flying bomb, and we're gonna be using a footman hut, which is the building that is specifically considered to be very bombable building. So like you can see, we're gonna be using a very healthy spellbait, and this skeleton horde won't do anything at all. So yeah, I'm gonna just go with this Dark Knight. My opponent isn't playing his best game, and he's gonna drop a tower very quickly, and we're gonna be just moving to the advantage. We can, okay, I was about to say we can play Necromancer in the back, but since our opponent wants to keep initiative, he can keep it. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna play Necromancer in the back right now, because I'm gonna meet the guards. I mean shield skeletons, and one of the puppets will be converted. Right now I'm gonna play Footman Hut. I think that's gonna be enough to counter the skeleton horde without a considerable damage on the building, and that's absolutely correct. I'm gonna play a helicopter, and even though it may seem counterintuitive because he may have used a flying bomb on both of these cards, yeah, even then, I feel like I would be in a good spot. He's gonna be playing Faun King against my Dark Knight, which is considered to be a nice move, but yeah, I don't think it was the move he needed, because he's towered down, so he has to make better decisions than that. I'm gonna be playing, okay, he's gonna actually counter my Dark Knight, which is fine for him, I guess, but he had to ignore the apes and runners on the opposite side for that, and yeah, I'm gonna just be claiming a first win victory, and that's basically how you play with this deck. So I think that's the part of the video where I have to explain how this deck kinda works. So if you haven't played Flying Bomb bait ever, or any bait in general, I'm gonna explain it briefly. It's like the archetype where you want to just overwhelm your opponent with the cards that can be easily countered by a spell, but since your opponent has only one spell that can counter them in their deck, it's gonna be very tough for them to maintain the counters throughout the game. So yeah, my opponent actually will be playing a default deck here, so I think that's gonna be the perfect territory to explain it. I could have won the game with runners at the bridge right now, but I'm gonna just chill for a bit and allow him to consolidate. So the best thing you can... That was the wrong card, I apologize for that. These runners were very bad, and he will promptly counter them. Yeah, okay, that wasn't the cleanest one, but yeah, it wasn't the best one. So the card that you want to very often play is gonna be a Footman Hut, and it's gonna provide you with this one safety footman, which will pretty much give you time to gather more mana and play for more pushes. Right now I would have played the Necromancer in the back, but since he gave me the value at the bridge, I just used it and forced out some mana out of him, so that was nice. Okay. The next thing you want to abuse is like all of these troops that are dying to flying bomb, and you want to use your first troop as the least valuable one. So I, for instance, cycled there in Necromancer, because a Necromancer has the least potential of getting value if you play it in the dark. So my opponent will give up. The troop that will give more value if played in the dark is a helicopter, because helicopter gets the more value as long as it stays on the board. I mean, your opponent usually, if your opponent doesn't have a spell, he'll usually have a hard time of dealing with it. And the third component of this flying bomb bait will be our win condition, which will be apes. And with apes, obviously you want to get damage and all of that, but you can usually do that only if you have the kinda situation very stable, and that's why you have the rest of the cards, because it's very okay, that was a very good block. He's gonna actually get a lot of value right here, so that's gonna be a scary situation. I'm gonna use some apes to kite. Hopefully that's gonna be successful for me. And yeah, that was very hard defense, and somehow I'm still in this game. I feel like, yeah, I'm gonna have to take some damage here, and I'm gonna have to use a poison on defense. That was very tough spot for me because he absolutely caught this helicopter, and that was something I didn't expect at all. I'm gonna play Footman Hat right now, and yeah, he's dealing very nicely with me, so I shouldn't be playing apes in this matchup right now at all because I'm behind, so I will have to catch up with troops. But I have had to play something for that defense because otherwise I would be absolutely cooked. So yeah, that's why I played apes on the previous defense, and right now he's gonna counter this necromancer with the piercing archer. Very well placed card, and okay. Yeah, I'm gonna play a dark knight because I frankly have to do something about me being behind, and okay. He's gonna play a very good Viking against my Dark Knight, so I will have to play runners against his piercing archer because, well, they will clean the Viking afterwards, at least I hope. There we go. And yeah, I'm gonna be having a very hard time here, so I will just play a late footman keg and hope for a good counter. And unfortunately, tower and a footman targeted the other troops on his end, so that's gonna be a very hard game to come back into. And obviously I'm gonna try my best, but there's no guarantee because he actually has a very good matchup. He has a ghost against my apes, he has like a devils against my helicopter, and yeah, that's gonna be just a very tough thing for me to do. I'm gonna right now play runners because he used a Viking, and I think that's my only shot in this game. I'm gonna play poison to weaken these footmen, maybe get something done here. I'm gonna play a keg here, and unfortunately my footman didn't deal enough, so that was a good attempt, but he's gonna take the game anyways. And yeah, that first helicopter that he absolutely caught with Viking was pretty much the winning move for him, and after that there was nothing I could honestly do. So yeah, GG, well played, and let's jump to the next game. Right, so we are in another game against Devister. If I'm not wrong, I've played this guy once already in this video, so he's gonna be playing Dark Knight against my runners. That's absolutely fine because I've already got some value out of them, and I'm gonna play my Dark Knight myself. So we're gonna be having a little skirmish of Dark Knights over here, and I think that's already a good moment to push out, given the fact I'm gonna get rid of this thief. And right now I feel very confident of playing my apes, because I want to tank for my helicopter, and I absolutely did. He's gonna be having ghosts, which is one of the best responses in the game to apes, but it's not gonna matter too much because I'm gonna get absolutely clean response against his troops. His ghosts will actually run on my tower and deal some damage, which I could have prevented with Footman Keg. I actually should have respected his attack more, but yeah. The milk already has been spilled and there's nothing I can do about it right now, so I'm gonna just play Footman Hat, try to tank with a Footman, but yeah, it came out too late. Thief is very dynamic card, you have to absolutely watch out for it. I'm gonna delay the Dark Knight just a bit, so his Dark Knight has a chance to catch up on my half of the board, and my Dark Knight won't enter his one. So yeah, that's gonna be a another good trade for me, because obviously Dark Knight is trading on my side on the board and not the other way around. He's gonna use a Devils to clean up, which is fine play, but at the same time not the best. Like, right now I can play Apes once again and Helicopter will pretty much clean up everything he will ever play on this lane, because it's just a dominant troop. He's gonna clean up first Devil, it's gonna actually target a Dark Knight, which is very interesting call out of my Copter, but yeah, there's currently nothing I can do about it. Actually, this Dark Knight and Ghost Splash was absolutely insane, so I was forced to drop my own Dark Knight, and right now I'm gonna just drop runners on the opposite side to just wreak havoc, force mistakes, and mistakes have been forced because he didn't have a best response against my runners. And that's absolutely the scenario you love to see. This Dark Knight will go for a jumping spree, and there's unfortunately nothing I can do about it, so I'm gonna just try to defend this side, and I feel I'm gonna be successful about it. He's gonna get a small scary push right here, which I will promptly stop, and right now I'm gonna just play a Necromancer against these Devils to get more value out of my existing push. Yeah, he's gonna be able to clean it up very well, so I'm gonna just play a Footman Hut, try to get the third Footman, and I did. And I think it's now time to just close this game, because I don't think he has a response against this combo. And there we go, we're gonna get a very nice win here. He was just not able to deal with my Helicopter, and that definitely paid a dividends throughout the game. Let's jump to the last game of this video. One more thing to add is that this deck kinda feels relaxing to me, because I don't have to make as much decisions with it as with Cycle decks. It's just more important about remembering the fact which cards are important right now. So I'm gonna just cycle Apes at the bridge and figure out what deck is he playing, because I frankly don't think there was a better move on the board that I could have capitalized more from. And right now I'm gonna play Necromancer against this Faun, because why not? I'm gonna capitalize out of that, and he is very aggressive with his deck. I don't think he should be that aggressive, especially with these two cards. I'm gonna definitely play runners, and yeah, they might run into a Skeleton Horde. That's definitely fine by me. There we go. And yeah, I can just clean it up with a foot. He's just giving me more and more value. That's not the way that you want to play the game. Obviously, if you want to have fun, you may try to cheese people like this, but most of the time it's a just bad move that will set you back. I could have even ignored here a Faun. That's a very instructive move. Actually, I think ignoring would be a better move, because I would have a Dark Knight far way more back on the map, and I could have played more mana behind it. So for instance, I would have a mana for like Helicopter, maybe Necromancer. Obviously I wouldn't have it for runners, because they are too far on the hand, and yeah, I would have the ability to make plays for a little cost of damage on my tower, and he's gonna give up. That's gonna be the last game of the video, and if you enjoyed it and watched it till the end, definitely consider to subscribing my YouTube channel if you aren't already. Try this deck for yourself, because it's very fun to play right now. You may run into some Vikings, so that's gonna be unfortunate for you. Like you've seen, Viking has a pretty decent matchup. But there's definitely a way to play around it, because like Viking has only one good response against Ace, and it's Ghost. If you are managing to outcycle it on a regular basis, you will be fine. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Like I've said, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'm gonna see you in the next episode of Boom Arena.